Devotees, thank you for the energetic kirtan. I think Maharaj's energy is spreading to the rest of us. It's now my honor to introduce our speaker for the day, His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj. Now Maharaj doesn't need any introduction. I'm sure he has touched each and every one of you in this temple room and beyond in ISKCON South Africa. So Maharaj originally hails from New Zealand. He joined ISKCON in 1973 and he was initiated in the same year. In 1984 he took sannyas ashram and initially he served in the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust and he also distributed Prabhupada's books. Then in 1980 Maharaj moved to South Africa where he became the temple president of the Cato Ridge Temple and he helped raise funds for the Sri Radharanath Temple. Maharaj served as a regional secretary for South Africa and joined the GBC in 1998. He acts as a co-GBC for many Southern African countries as well as Eastern European countries. He has served as chairman and vice chairman of the GBC. Maharaj is also part of the strategic planning committee of the GBC. Maharaj loves photography, I'm sure most of you know that, and especially when he's on parikram. And these pictures have been published in books such as Vrindavan, The Playground of God, and Traveling in the Service of Srila Prabhupada. So it is my great pleasure to now hand over to His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Everybody knows all. How many dozens of times have you done? So now, do we have something like either an accordion or harmonium which is going to work? Because this one is dropping, right? Crashing out, sort of thing. Which shall we use? Okay. Jaya Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jaya Vrindavana, Shri Govinda Gopinatha, Madana Mohan. Balaram Charis, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki, ISKCON Samstapakacharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, Sri Sri Radha Radhanath Ki, Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Hari Ki, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Ki, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Ki, Shri Balaram Purnima Ki, Goprinanande, all glories to this humble devotees, all glories to this humble devotees, all glories to this humble devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Did you see the full moon?
Yes.
Oh yes, very beautiful. It's Balaram Purnima, just so nice. Sure. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Yes, devotees, so what a wonderful and what an auspicious day. We've just had program after program, actually, pretty much. And so we're continuing. We're continuing this evening. Lord Balaram, first of all, he's the first expansion of Krishna. So you can't get any closer to Krishna than being his first expansion. So he knows Krishna so well. And because he knows Krishna so well, he naturally becomes inspired to serve Krishna. That's just natural. If you get to understand Krishna enough and clearly enough, then you'll see you have no alternative. You just have to serve him. He's just so wonderful. He's so great, but it's not just a matter of being great. He's so nice. Yes, Krishna is a nice guy. Yes, keep very favorable attitudes towards Krishna. Yes, so Balaram knows that extremely well. Really very, very well. And therefore, he simply wants to serve Krishna. As we were told, was it last night or this morning, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Balaram is everything else. Because he's Krishna's shoes, his clothes, his ornaments, his house, his seat, his umbrella, and his weapons, and just everything actually that Krishna uses. And then he expands into the spiritual world to give Krishna a space, a place for enjoying his pastimes. Then he expands into the material world to give Krishna a place, a place where the unfortunate, rebellious, conditioned souls can become reformed in natural types of ways. Not exactly by force, but by just seeing the reality of life without Krishna and seeing how bad that is. And then one says, well, there's nothing else to do. other than surrender to Krishna. I remember the first time I read Bhagavad Gita, sometime kind of early 1973, and I finished the Bhagavad Gita, closed the book, and I just understood, well, I've got to surrender to Krishna. What else can I do? Nothing else makes any good sense. So Balaram, he has got that. He's got that point. He's understood that. And so he just doesn't do anything other than serve Krishna. Just day and night, and 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. That's Balaram. He's just serving Krishna. And Krishna's so nice. As Jiva Goswami says, even though Krishna is so great, so vast, that he's like an unlimited ocean, but he's so nice and so kind that he never forgets, even though he's like an unlimited ocean, he never forgets even the smallest drop of service that someone does. Even someone who's not a devotee, not significant person, even someone who's really not doing well at all. But somehow if they do a little service, Krishna always remembers, never forgets, and he gives an opportunity to do more. So anyway, Balaram is the emblem of devotional service. And in that way he's very relevant to all of us, because we are trying to be or to become or to be devotees. Yes, so Balaram is like the presiding deity in a sense of devotional service. Srimati Radharani, the two of them, they're the presiding deities of devotional service. And when either of them sees that some person from Johannesburg, somewhere, northern suburbs, Santon, Midrand, or whatever, has done a little devotional service, then they think, wow, that's so wonderful. They become so pleased with that person just by their doing little devotional service. And even if there's no devotion, even if they just somehow do it accidentally, like they take a book, if devotees are distributing books somewhere, they take a book, and they're not thinking, oh, it's a book about Krishna. Oh, that's very good. I must have this book because it's about Krishna. Even if they're not thinking like that at all, but they just take the book which is about Krishna, then they're just tremendously benefited by Radharani and by Lord Balaram. Maybe you know the little story. Quite some years ago in Cape Town, one of our devotees during the marathon was distributing books in a shopping mall somewhere up around Tableview or that way. And she met a full-scale, 100% dedicated, what do they call them? They wear all black and not the punk rockers. What are the other ones? Huh?
Gothic.
Huh?
Gothic.
Oh, okay, you could say a gothic. That sort, the goths. Heavy metal. Heavy metal. You know, long hair and black clothes and greasy hair and wearing a crucifix upside down, which means, I'm a real heavy dude. She offered him a book, and he said, yeah, that's okay, but haven't you got something heavier? And she had that book. Oh, what's it? Maybe it's A Second Chance, that book. A book like that, which had a double page in the center picture of the Yamadutas dragging someone out of their body at the time of death. It's pretty dramatic. And this heavy metal fellow looked at this and said, "Oh, that's cool." And he took the book and he gave 20 rands. So he was not thinking, this is a book about Krishna, how nice. But somehow he was attracted and he took it. So when Balaram, when Srimati Radharani they see people doing like this, even though the people are kind of in another world, in a different space, completely, but unknowingly they take a step towards Krishna, then Balaram, Srimati Radharani, they become very happy. So yes, let's just talk about a couple of pastimes of Lord Balaram. One very nice pastime, which involves at least Lord Balaram, is the Aniyor Leela, part of the Govardhan Leela, which of course is very dear to all of us. So in that Leela, I think you all know, or so many of you know, that instead of doing the Indra Puja, Lord Krishna convinced the residents of Vrindavan to use all the things they'd collected for the Indra Puja, to use those things for a Govardhan Puja, for worshipping and offering those things, all sorts of foodstuffs particularly, to Govardhan Hill. So they did. And there was so much foodstuffs, it stretched for 5 kilometers right along the front of Govardhan Hill, and 1 kilometer back out from Govardhan Hill. And we were actually talking about this type of thing a bit this morning in Santon. Every type of food preparation you can think of, and many you can't think of, you've never heard of. Yeah, you wouldn't, if we told you it's one of them, you wouldn't know what is that. Yes, really, it's a fact. Like in New Zealand, as you heard, I'm sure you all know, I'm from New Zealand. At least 50 years ago, up till 50 years ago, I was living there. There they have one vegetable. It's really nice. It's called kumara. You know what a kumara is? You wasted 10% of your life, at least, because it's just really nice. It's kind of like sweet potato, but better. So anyway, So they had all these food preparations which they placed there in front of Govardhan Hill. Krishna manifested a special form of himself hovering over Govardhan Hill. And when all those food preparations were offered to the hill, that gigantic form of Krishna consumed all those preparations, just like that, in a matter of seconds. And then that gigantic form of Krishna, what did he do? No. No, he called out, Aniya! What did he do? Aniya! 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 Which in the local local dialect just basically means Anna means food and or means more. Give me more food. So they ran home, got whatever ingredients and things were left at home, brought them back, whipped together another great offering, 5 kilometers by a kilometer, that sort of thing. And there were just pools, lakes of sweet rice. Do you like sweet rice? You do? Do you like it? Yeah. You could just dive in and just drown. What a way to go. Yeah, so second offering and that gigantic form of Krishna hovering over the top of the hill consumed everything practically just like that, in like 3 seconds. And what did he do then? He called out, Aniya! What did he do?
Aniya!
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 Give me more food, but they didn't have any more. So what to do? You know, they'd given up the Indra Puja, so they couldn't go back and do that again. So that's a failure. And so they stopped that to do Govardhan Puja, but now Govardhan is not happy, and they can't worship him, they can't offer anything else. What to do? It looks like everything's a failure. But, yes, Lord Balaram, right? Let's not forget Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram, among numerous other things, he is known as the crest jewel of the intelligent. You put him in any difficult situation, any sort of difficult situation, particularly interpersonal type situations, and Lord Balaram can sort it out just like that. So what Lord Balaram did, they had offered literally tons and tens or however many tons of food and just amazing preparations. The best of the best transcendental foodstuffs cooked, superlatively, and it had been a big failure. So Lord Balaram, he took 1 tulsi leaf, 1, no hundreds of preparations and no all sorts of jazzy foodstuffs, 1 tulsi leaf, and he climbed up on Govardhan Hill, and he offered that 1 tulsi leaf to that gigantic form of Krishna, who was still calling out, Aniya, no, Aniya!
Aniya!
Okay. Yeah, and he just gave him that 1 tulsi leaf, and that gigantic form of Krishna, he took that tulsi leaf, and no more Aniya. He was fully satisfied. And therefore the Govardhan Puja was successfully completed by the arrangement of Lord Balaram, because he's a very amazing person. Yeah, he's the older brother, and he keeps an eye out, because Krishna is known to become a little wild. These young boys, right? Sometimes they go a bit dilly, and Krishna does a bit like that sometimes. Yeah, so Balaram cools him down and just keeps his feet on the ground like that. Yeah, it's a fact. This is Lord Balaram. He serves Krishna in so many ways. So that was one way how he served Krishna. Otherwise, who knows what would have happened at the end of the Govardhan Leela? What might have happened? We don't know. But he sorted it out. He's really very brilliant. Another, it's actually one of my just favorite little stories. It's kind of very short. It's in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Some of you may be familiar with it a bit. It's the story of how, in the second part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the person, the main person, Gopakumar, he's trying to go back to Godhead, back to Goloka Vrindavan, and he's been trying and trying and trying, and he's gradually goes up one level, then up to another level, and up to another level, and eventually he comes to Dwaraka, which is he's practically there. He's practically there. But anyway, then he goes back to Goloka Vrindavan. He falls at Govardhan Hill on this planet. He falls into the Yamuna River, which in those days flowed past Govardhan Hill. And he just sort of fainted and fell into the river. And when he woke up, he was in Goloka Vrindavan. Although he didn't really know it, it wasn't really clear where he was, but he was in Goloka Vrindavan. In fact, like I said, he wasn't sure, so he had to ask someone, where am I? Well, there was a palace up on a hill. And he asked some elderly gentleman, whose palace is that? And the elderly gentleman said, that is the palace of the father of Sri Nandanandan, of Krishna. Then he understood, I've made it. I've arrived in Goloka Vrindavan. So then, it was the late afternoon, the time when Krishna, Balaram, the cowherd boys, they bring the cows back in from taking them out to graze around the hill and all like that. So, of course, Gopakumar's been away for a long time. He was in the material world. And in fact, like all of us, he sort of got lost in the material world for quite a while. But then he became a devotee, and then he really understood, I've got to go back. So now he's gone back. And there's beautiful description. Let me just read it here a little bit. It'll only take 2 or 3 minutes. As Krishna approaches, all the inhabitants, all the residents of the village, they're all there waiting for him and Balaram to come back. And now they see, there they are, they're coming. And they saw Krishna. His lotus eyes glistened with merciful glances. His only real ornament was his own wonderful handsomeness. The fingers of his lotus hand pushed back the moving locks of his hair, decorated with dust raised by the cows. To beautify the surface of the earth, he touched it with his soft lotus feet as he danced gracefully. Splendid with the sweetness of youth, his handsomeness made all the directions glorious. The ocean of his many glories charmed the hearts of his eternal dear friends there. And then Krishna sees Gopakumar. Don't worry, it is about Balaram. But, this is just a little prelude. Krishna sees Gopakumar. Yes. So, when Krishna sees Gopakumar, who's been away in the material world for a long time, then controlled by the love of his helpless devotees, he ran to me. I fainted with love by seeing him. He embraced my neck and then suddenly fell to the ground. In a moment, I became conscious. I carefully freed my neck from his embrace. I saw him fall into the ground unconscious, covered with dust and muddying the path with the streams of his tears. And now the bridge buses arrive on the scene, because this is happening sort of halfway in between them and the cowherd boys and everyone, because Krishna came running forward and so did Gopakumar. So the gopis came and said, Who has done this? What has he done to the goal of our lives? Alas, alas, now we people of Vraja are all dead. And so they're wondering, who did this? Because Krishna is unconscious. And there are no real symptoms of life. So they're discussing, who is this? This one, that one with the glasses. Who is this fellow? And the others say, wow, we haven't seen him. We don't know him. Yeah. And someone says, this is now Gopakumar, maybe he is a servant of Kamsa. That's what they think. This newcomer, Gopakumar, he's just gone back to Godhead. He's in ecstasy. He just met Krishna. It's just unbelievable. But now suddenly they all close in around him to get him. Because, what has he done to Krishna? So devotees, seeing this, well, actually, let me just read a couple more things, just so you get the idea. Hearing the sound of crying, the people of Vraja, Nanda Maharaj and the cowherd men, Yashoda, who dearly loved her son, the other women and the maidservants, fainting and stumbling as they came, all ran there, crying out, alas, alas. Then the cows, bulls, calves, deer and other animals all came there, and seeing what had happened to Krishna, they all cried in agony. Yes. So the animals, gently making sounds of love, their faces bathed with tears, approaching Krishna again and again and smelling him, they licked him again and again. Crying as they flew in the sky above, many grieving birds made a great sound. Their hearts filled with pain. The unmoving trees and plants suddenly became withered and dry. How can I say it in words? All moving and unmoving beings became as if they were dead. So that's the scene. And, it's interesting just to understand the depth of emotions and intensity of feelings, the intensity of the relationships with Krishna. So now Krishna's on the ground and looks like he may have lost his life. But then Balaram comes, our hero, Balaram, who solves the problems. Balaram came and he sat down next to Krishna and took Gopakumar's hand and pulled him down onto the ground. Then he put Krishna's head in the lap of Gopakumar. He took Gopakumar's hand and moved Gopakumar's hand to stroke Krishna's head. And suddenly Krishna revived. Isn't that amazing? By Balaram's intervention, Gopakumar was able to. Then Gopakumar got the idea, and he's stroking Krishna's head and holding Krishna's head and saying nice things. And suddenly, Krishna comes back to consciousness. And everyone sees and says, oh, look, Krishna's all right. Who saved his life? It was him. The one with the glasses. There was him. It was Gopakumar. So Gopakumar, from full ecstasy in seeing Krishna again, to, total bewilderment, everyone's closing in on him to kill him for killing Krishna. And then suddenly he's the hero. Who saved our Krishna? Oh, it was him, Gopakumar. And so suddenly now Gopakumar, from being public enemy number one, now he's just the hero by Balaram's arrangement. See, this is Balaram. He's very amazing. He's very clever. And therefore it's said, we mentioned this morning sometime, that he's also considered the original spiritual master. He and Radharani, they're like a team. Yes, they're both considered the original spiritual masters. And Balaram, in this way, because of he's so astute and so expert in helping people understand Krishna and come closer to Krishna, and to teach people how to serve Krishna. This is Lord Balaram. So we should, any time is fine, but particularly today is his appearance day, and all the great transcendental personalities, including Krishna, whose appearance day is Monday next week, and Prabhupada, whose appearance day is on Tuesday next week. And all the great devotees, the great acharyas and different incarnations of the Lord, they, on their appearance days and disappearance days also, for the devotees, the great devotees, they're more accessible, more approachable. And if we pray to them on their appearance, or in the case of the acharyas, their disappearance days, but now in this case, the appearance day of Lord Balaram, pray to Lord Balaram, please, you are the original spiritual master, so please give me some transcendental intelligence to understand your brother, Krishna, and to learn how to serve him and how to actually please him. And we pray like that to Lord Balaram, because this is his idea. He likes to help the devotees, or those who want to be devotees. He likes to help them. So he'll help you. He definitely will. Yes, right. So, it's not too late. It's getting a bit late, but it's not too late to do that. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, that was nice little pastime of Lord Balaram. And yeah, Gopakumar's speaking, says, seeing me, Krishna happily embraced and kissed me. But then looking around, he became embarrassed. Having attained me, a friend more dear than life, who he had not seen for a long time, taking my hand in his left lotus hand, asking me wonderful questions like, where have you been all this time? Bringing happiness to all the people of Raja, and walking as gracefully as an elephant. The handsome Lord entered the village of Raja. So there's another nice little pastime, not so well known, but it's just a really beautiful pastime actually, showing the wonderful nature of Lord Balaram. And devotees, I already this morning told the whole story in graphic detail of the killing of Dhenukasura. There is one other demon, like prominent demon, killed by Lord Balaram. Dhenukasura, is particularly well known, but who's the other one? Pralambasura. Oh yes, Pralambasura. And he's a real character, Pralambasura. Let's go through the description here. So this pastime took place in the middle of the hot summer season. And in Vrindavan in summer, it really does get hot. So the roar of the waterfalls was drowning the chirping of the crickets. Because of the presence of Krishna and Balaram, even though it was summer, it was just like spring. So they entered the forest with all their cowherd boyfriends. Everyone decorated themselves with leaves, peacock feathers, clusters of flowers in their hair, garlands, and even they applied on their faces and bodies colored minerals. I don't know if you've had that experience, those of you who have been to Vrindavan, I'm sure many of you have. Many of the rocks there, if you take them and put some water on them and rub them just on your hand or on another rock, some color comes. Yeah, some color comes. It's really nice. So they would do that and put, like colorful decorations on their faces. Like you could say, the male version of Gopi dots. How does that sound? Yeah. And they would play games, mock wrestling. They'd grab each other's hair, whirl each other around, jump, throw, slap, and drag each other. Because these are real, they're tough guys. Oh, they're real tough guys. Yeah, so they play these boisterous games with each other. They would play tag. They would have races. First to touch Krishna. And sometimes some of them, Krishna's walking along, and there's quite a lot of them, and they're walking through a forest. Some of them would walk on the, Krishna say in the middle, and there are trees on either side. Some would walk on the other side of the trees, and so they couldn't see Krishna for a couple of seconds, and they would panic. They couldn't see Krishna for a couple of seconds. They would just panic. Yes, so like this, They would sometimes act as kings. And in this mood, they began the practice of stopping the gopis and demanding taxes. Yeah, we'll explain about that some other time. So this Pralambasura, he was a master of disguise. He disguised himself as a cowherd boy, coming with the intention of kidnapping and taking away Krishna and Balaram and then killing them. So he, because he's like a real mystic, he assumed the form of a boy who had remained at home for the day because it was his birthday. And he was having a little birthday party with his mother. So Krishna, of course, immediately understood, this is that demon Pralambasura. But he didn't do anything yet. In fact, Krishna pretended to be friendly to this disguised Pralambasura, although at the same time he was meditating, how shall I kill this rascal demon? So actually Krishna had an idea that we can play a game in which, a team game, in which the losers, in the team which loses the game, they have to carry the members of the winning team on their shoulders and walk around for a while like that. So Krishna was thinking, I want to see Balaram get on the shoulders of Pralambasura so we can get a sort of bit of a bird's eye view on things. And maybe Pralambasura will manifest his real size and, like higher than the tops of the trees. And Balaram will be able to see all around Vrindavan, and it'll just be really nice if I can arrange this for Balaram. Krishna's in that mood. He wants to do something for Balaram. So then Krishna and Balaram became the leaders of two teams. Yeah. Those who were more like Krishna's friends, they were on his team. Those who were more like Balaram's friends, they were on his team. And Pralambasura, disguised as this other boy, who was actually a friend of Krishna's more. So Pralambasura was on Krishna's side. Yes, and Krishna's side lost. Yeah. Krishna loves his devotees so much that when they have these competitions like a race or wrestling or just some competition or other, Krishna always lets the devotees win because they're very dear to him, so he lets them win. But as a result, Krishna has got a reputation as a loser. So when they have team games, and the two leaders, not Krishna and Balaram, but just two of the boys, they have to choose. I'll take him, and the other one says, I'll take Krishna Das, and the other one says, I'll take Anukul. The other one says, I'll take Yogendra, and I'll take Ayendra. And then in the end, the only one who hasn't been chosen is Krishna. Because he's known for losing. Because he loves his devotees, he lets them win. So the two leaders of the two teams, they say to each other, well, do you want Krishna? No, you can have him. So anyway, there they are. So Krishna's team lost. And Pralambasura had been on Krishna's team. So the winners got to ride on the shoulders of the losers. So Pralambasura got to ride on, Lord Balaram, Lord Balaram got to ride on the shoulders of Pralambasura, who was on the losing side. Yes, so they're going along. Pralambasura is in his cowherd boy form and sort of like that type of size. And he's carrying Balaram. Suddenly he sort of slips off to one side. Balaram doesn't notice initially because he's just into it. He's into it, riding on the shoulders. Yeah, great. But then suddenly he noticed, hey, we've kind of got lost here, or we've drifted away from everyone else. What happened? So, yeah, because Pralambasura was afraid that if Krishna sees him trying to kill Balaram, Krishna will attack him. So rather just take on Balaram on his own. Yeah, and then when Balaram noticed that we have just got, what's going on? There's something is wrong here. This fellow he's up to no good. Balaram increased his weight. And then Pralambasura manifested his usual size, gigantic. But now Balaram is above the trees, looking out. And Krishna's really happy that, yes, Balaram's getting this, really nice view of Raja. Yeah. So, but Balaram, he was a bit frightened. What happened to my friend? What has happened to him? Yeah, the thing is, Krishna had covered Balaram with Yoga Maya because he wanted the whole pastime to go like this so that Balaram would be carried up in the sky. So, realizing the situation, well, what happened was Krishna saw that Balaram is a bit confused. Now, what am I doing up here? Although he's also enjoying the view. So Vishnu Purana says that Krishna says to Balaram, what is this mentality of a mere mortal which you're exhibiting, O soul of all? Even though your own true nature is more confidential than all other secret things. When Krishna said that, Lord Balaram understood, this is a demon, and he wants to kill me. So, initially, Balaram, he thought, well, wait a minute. This looks like a big demon, but he's a cowherd boy. So I don't think it's good for me to kill him. But then he remembered that Krishna killed a woman, Putana, Vatsasura. So he thought, okay, it's all right for me to kill a cowherd boy. So he did. Yeah, he did what he did. He struck Pralambasura on the head extremely powerfully. Yeah. And Pralambasura's head immediately split in two. Ecstatic. He vomited blood. Ecstatic. And fell to the ground just like a mountain attacked by Indra. Pralambasura then attained impersonal liberation. So this is one pastime of Lord Balaram, where Lord Balaram is our hero, really our hero. So yeah, like we said, it's a special time. Well, we can tell you one more pastime. You know, Krishna and Balaram, they left Vrindavan, they went to Mathura, and then they went to Dwaraka. But when they left Vrindavan, all the residents of Vrindavan were just thrown into a bottomless ocean of separation. Just extreme separation. As you know, Lord Chaitanya, as Radharani, as if Radharani is speaking, says, Yugaitam nameshena chakshusha pravrishayitam, shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahenam me. When I'm separated from you, Krishna, then a moment seems like 12 years or more. Yes. So they were thrown into such an ocean of separation. And they were waiting for Krishna and Balaram, particularly Krishna, but Balaram also to return. Because they said, Krishna said, I will return. Don't worry, I'll return. So some of them, there is a road from Nandagram, it's called the Old Mathura Road. And it doesn't go to Mathura these days, but it goes straight out for about 1 kilometer from Nandagram. And some of the devotees, because Krishna said he would come back, they went out on that road and they just waited there for like 60 years. And they're just looking for Krishna to come back on the road that he left on. And they didn't want to miss him if he just happened to come very quickly. So they didn't blink for 60 years. They didn't blink. See how long you can go without blinking. But that was 60 years. Yeah. So anyway, what happened though was that after quite some time, Lord Balaram decided to go back to Vrindavan. And it's described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. 10th canto, I think it's chapter 58 or maybe it's 54. It's around about there. Lord Balaram returns to Vrindavan and he had a wonderful time, and the Brijbasis were so happy to have his association again. And he was doing rasa dances in the evenings. So one time he'd been having a rasa dance with a group of gopis, and they finished, or they stopped at least for a while. One place, it's up kind of northern Vraj Mandala, that sort of area, northern Vraj Mandala, on the eastern side, yeah, of the Yamuna. And so he and the gopis, they were having some sort of like after dancing, sporting and exchanges. And Varuna, the demigod Varuna, he caused honey to come out of trees which were around so that Lord Balaram could have some Varuni beverage. And those gopis also. So they're drinking this Varuni. And yeah, anyway, did you have any Varuni today?
Okay. Making, Maharaj.
Ah?
They're making.
Oh, they're making. Watch out. Well, there are different versions. There are many different versions. One version is honey and Sprite. It's a popular version of Varuni, a derivative. So anyway, they're drinking this, and it's, honey is extremely sweet. And sugar can be kind of intoxicating in a certain sense. Yeah. So they were getting a little carried away. And Lord Balaram was getting a bit carried away. And Lord Balaram, because that particular place, it's called Ramgat. Ramgat. And Lord Balaram decided that, well, the Yamuna was quite close, but it was still maybe 50 meters away or something. And they're tired, and they've been drinking this Varuni. And Balaram decided, we should all have a bath in the Yamuna. It'd just be great. But we don't have to walk all the way over there. So he called out to the Yamuna, "Hey, you! Hey, you! Come here, river! Come here now!" And Yamuna Devi, who's observing all of this, and when she heard that, she thought, this man has had too much Varuni. So, now he's just being, trying to be bossy and not nice. So she decided, I'm not going. You come here. I'm not going. So, what a mistake that was. Lord Balaram took his plough and he went down to the Yamuna and dug his plough. You see the ploughs, right? There they are. Different types of ploughs. And pulled the Yamuna to him and to where the gopis were. And when this happened, Yamuna realized, wow, I just made a big mistake. Because this is actually Lord Balaram himself. And it's just a pastime. He's not, intoxicated as such. He's just in a very enthusiastic mood. So she offered her respects and offered prayers to Lord Balaram. And that place, if you go there at the right time, then you can see that it's on the bank of the Yamuna, but just along the bank, there are these little islands. I mean, little, like 6 feet across, 4 feet across. There's a number of them, which, they say these are from when Lord Balaram, he dug his plough in and pulled the Yamuna over him. The bank of the Yamuna broke up and little islands were formed. So this is Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram, the most wonderful Supreme Personality of Godhead. And today is his appearance day. And, there's still time to offer some prayers to him. Prayers best to pray, please help me to become a good devotee, a proper devotee of your dear younger brother, Krishna. And for sure, you'll see some mercy will come to you over the next days. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Shri Krishna Balaram Ke.
Jai.
Shri Krishna Balaram Ke.
Jai.
Shri Krishna Balaram Ke.
Jai.
Shri Baladev Ji Ki.
Jai.
Shri Balaram Purnima Ki.
Jai.
Go Premanande.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Rama. Yes, okay. What's our next program?